9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
What up, y'all? Happy Monday. It's been a minute. And, I guess my dog sensed it's time because she wants to get on my lap, but that's what we're doing. It's been a minute. Welcome to WWT Live, the Monday edition. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. My name is TK Trinidad. My dog is Beulah. And I'm not alone. The sweetest Oos is in the building. I think it's going to be a girl show. I'm excited. Miss Honey, how you doing? Ooh. Oh goodness. Okay, so we submitted. Okay.
Good evening, boss lady. Good to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. We have a lot of things to talk about. And I think this episode in particular, we're going to need the queen of PR, Courtney.
Oh man, I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I know Revolution's this weekend, but we got a lot to cover from what happened over the weekend. Lots of stuff that happened.
We do. And I'll just preface this. So I've been on a 2-week travel tour. I was in Florida and then I ended up in Toronto. So I was there for Elimination Chamber. I have a lot of thoughts on it, but our first story actually is going to talk about how we kicked off Elimination Chamber with Pat McAfee today on his show, apologizing for going off on Canada, siding with the U.S. as he should when Canada's win the national anthem. Now, let me tell y'all, for you guys who don't know, being Canadian, I have never, I've heard light boos before, but the resounding blue, I don't know if people heard it as loud as I heard it in the stadium, but the resounding boo from Canada was like, wait, this is what because we don't really, as Canadians, we don't really do that. It's more like a respectful boo. This was definitely a disrespectful boo, like, no, y'all need to get out of here type situation. And apparently Pat McAfee went off on WWE, which he later on apologized for. So ladies, I just kind of want to get your thoughts overall as, being Americans, what you thought, what his response was, all that stuff. We'll start with Courtney.
Well, I actually missed the live part, but I did catch his apology yesterday. I mean, I give him accountability for doing what's right. I can't knock him for that. But of course, he was just so into the moment last night on Canada. I'm like, out of all things, Pat, but that's just who he is. But I'm happy he did apologize to kick off during his show. So at least he did have some kind of accountability and with the mess. But of course, it's going to be hanging on throughout the week because everybody's going to be talking about it. With Pat, I can see probably putting out memes, but it's a step in the right direction. But see what happens throughout the week.
Let's see what happens. And honey, what's your thoughts on this?
There's always someone or something out there trying to divide us. And I like to be on the side of unity.
Well,
Yeah.
So let's shout out to people in the chat. Aaron, Bosa, Special or Nobodies. I think Cousin Ron is also in the chat as well. And Pachu's also in the chat too, and Eric. So Bosa was saying WWE didn't read the room right when they had the singer sing both versions of the anthem in Canada. Here's the thing. WWE is an American company. What I am thankful for is that the singer, and I forgot her name, so if you guys know her name in the chat, definitely put it in because she thugged it out. We'll get into this after I finish my thought. The singer actually really thugged it out. And I was glad that she was able to sing both the American and the Canadian national anthem, because during the American anthem, I felt for her. I was like, ooh, this girl wants to, nobody wants to get booed. It's not your singing, but the amount of people that were booing her was just insane. So there's that. So it is an American company. So you would have to say, and it's nothing new. They have sang the American and Canadian national anthem before. It's not my first time watching a WWE event in Toronto. So that's what they do. Given the political climate and everything that's going on in Canada, that's the reason why they were booing. Because if you guys haven't been following the news, which some of you guys are lucky enough not to have to, it's been several ups and downs. But I mean, this gentleman, one of our council members, he is overseas traveling. We don't know if he's going to come back because, you know, there's some situations happening. But let's have him give his opinion. Councilman Pharaoh, the Bahama councilman. Oh, the Bahama councilman is in the building. What's up? How's the Friendly Seas treating you?
Friendly Seas are great. I just want to say too, I'm overseas and I still show up. So, you know, I don't know why TK can't, but I'm just somehow I'm on a boat and I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if my tag team partner is frozen or she just got the greatest still face of all time. But okay,
yeah, she is.
That was incredible. That is. Hey, they was handing out Oscars yesterday. She should get one for that one. Sweet Christmas.
So did you? I know we talked about it a little bit on, and we are good. I don't know how long you're staying with us, Will, but I know you talked a little bit about it in our separate chat. As far as Pat McAfee and, you know, the U.S. getting booed, what are your thoughts?
First off, fuck your country and the leaf you claim. U.S. side, when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be friendly, but you booed that night. Like, what we doing? What we doing? Don't have no more PLEs in Toronto, since that's how y'all acting.
You do realize that I don't want to even go political on this show. We're gonna leave it alone. But that's how you feel.
You don't bring the political to WWE. That's where we leave all that out there. Mm-hmm. We leave all that out. Nah,
you don't bring the political to WWE. You do realize that Triple H's mother-in-law is in the office that claims that to make Canada the 51st state. Like there's whole underlining things that are happening.
Do you hear her mentioned in WWE? No.
Okay.
We don't talk about her.
Just to be blind to
listen. Okay. We here. We here. Right in here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If we were in Los Angeles, if we gotta sing Canada's, we were gonna sing it. Okay? I'm hurt. I was not expecting this from Canada.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Germany, maybe. England, maybe. Virginia, maybe. Canada, I thought y'all was nice.
Oh,
I thought y'all were the nicest people.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it there. Y'all let us know in the chat what you guys thought. You know, was it, you know, tactless of the Canadians to boo the national anthem, or if you guys have been following the news and all this stuff, do you think it was not, I don't want to say deserving because that's not what the case is. Do you think it was just apropos given everything that's been happening?
Can I ask this question? Was it smart for them to do it? With everything that's going on, was it right for you to do it? You know what I'm saying? Not them booing, but it's like, if you tread in water, why would you sing the national anthem?
Mm-hmm. Was it right for WWE to do it?
Yeah, like if we you know what's going on, so it's kind of like, is that something we should do while we over here?
Here's the thing. I was shocked. I know what's happening, and I know feelings from different sides in Canada and the US. I was shocked because that's typically not what Canadians do. So you can't necessarily it's like you know, the person who's the friendliest person, and all of a sudden, like, you know, they're the friendliest person. Here's my bad analogy. They're the friendliest person, and you just been like, you know, poking at them for years, and then one day they just punch you in the face. You didn't expect it because you've never seen them do that before. And so it's like with WWE, I don't think they'd expected that was what was going to happen. Just like I don't think they really expected, you know, when Hogan got booed. They might have thought some light boos, but the amount that Hogan...
They knew that was coming. Nah.
they thought it was going to hang him off the job.
Nah, they knew that. They knew that was coming. Everybody, they all knew what they said.
And Sidell has a good point. When you're threatened to make Canada the 51st state by force, you're not going to get a good... And it's not WWE's fault, and I get it. but sometimes it's kind of one of those situations where you can't.
But to your point,
this is the representation of it.
But to your point of what you just said, though, like the person's statement that made that comes directly from the mother-in-law of the person that's running it. So you would think some, and I don't know if it did happen or if it didn't, but you would think some consideration would go like, hey, maybe we should tread lightly with the America stuff when we're out here, just because of what's been going on. Because you've seen them accommodate to other things. So it's just like, maybe that, and again, maybe they had that conversation, maybe they didn't, but I would hope that WWE at least has that thought process, at least moving forward and looking at everything that's going on. Like maybe right now we tone that down.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll find out when, whenever when and if there's another event in Canada. I can't remember if there's another one coming up this year, but we'll find out with that happening. I didn't catch the press conference, so I don't know if anybody actually asked Triple H that question, but I'd be interested.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
No.
Nobody brought it.
No, I wonder why.
So this is all Kendrick Lamar's fault. Just so y'all know, that's what really happened. This is all Kendrick Lamar. This is all his fault. This is all Kendrick Lamar's fault. I'm just saying.
Special little nobody is saying politically WWE is low key right wing adjacent, so they would keep matching these cultural missteps. That's possible. I mean, we can. Let's not even get into. That's a whole nother conversation. That
opens up a can of worms.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing we're not going to do. But another thing that we will go into is Rey Fénix being removed from the AEW roster page. So let's start off with Courtney. Any thoughts or updates as far as why this has happened and what's next?
It's an ongoing story that's done. I feel like we've been talking about this for months, but he's finally released. He can finally go to WWE. And as I said a couple weeks ago, this is one of the hard lessons AEW has to learn. So Rey, I've hopefully Phoenix as well, but that's pretty much it.
We'll go to Honey. So with that being said, I mean, obviously WWE has now become, at one point they were always number one, but at one point, they were just floundering, coming towards the end of Vince's reign and pretty much the end of Vince's reign. With now Rey possibly being signed to WWE, I don't know if it's been confirmed. Let me know. Do you think there's enough space for him? Because we have 2 or 3 new original programming from WWE. We have a bigger roster, a lot of major things happening. Do you think there's enough space for him and a storyline, I should say, for Rey Fénix in WWE?
In a storyline, I wouldn't be too sure. I mean, it would be hard to stray away from anything other than Penta, being that Penta has already made a name for himself since arriving here. I think more so maybe there could be, considering that maybe Penta went through what he went through with the triple threat match on Raw. Might need some help if they're gonna rebuild and repackage them in a different kind of way on WWE soil as opposed to the way they did in WWE. But I do believe there is room for him.
And what about you, Will? What do you think? Is there room for him? And what would you think the best, if you could be in the writer's room, what do you think the best course of action would be when and if they sign him?
Send him to SmackDown. I wouldn't put him on the same spot where you have LWO and you have Penta. I'm not saying this in a bad way, but Penta has this aura about him and this personality that draws you in. Rey Fénix, not saying it doesn't, it's just not as much for me, in my opinion. But I think SmackDown is somewhere that he can flourish, and especially going with folks like Carmelo Hayes taking on the big man Braun Strowman. I think there is a place for him there, especially with them, starting to shape up like the U.S. title and being able to prove himself there. So if I was to send Rey anywhere, I send him to SmackDown. I would definitely try to make sure he cuts as many promos as he can, so people can really start getting attached to him like they have with Penta.
And just FYI, Dylan, I have to defend our councilman, which I don't do often. Y'all know this, but Will is I think he has pretty much as many jobs as I do, and he's overseas doing his thing with another job, and he still has time to chime in. He's actually not overseas; he's on the sea, and he still
I'm in the
has
middle of
time.
the ocean.
He's in the middle of the ocean. Shout out to the Wi-Fi, because the last time I did a cruise for work, the Wi-Fi was horrendous. So shout out to your Wi-Fi in the middle of the ocean, because I didn't have a great time last minute.
They gave us good Wi-Fi this year.
So congratulations. So yes, we have to shout out. Okay, I can't let you. You know, I do let a lot of slander go around, but you know, like Sindel, I agree. Unlike Jacob, wherever Jacob may be. But Willie Will is working. Willie Will is working. He's doing multiple jobs. So shout out to him.
Will
for
not
that.
disrespect my tag team partner.
Nope.
There it is.
Scaring the shit out of me right now. I'm just like,
but moving to the still AEW news. So they're pitching having AEW to combine 2 championships. And so with this, like, I mean, our leading PR, we'll start with you, Courtney. What do you think about this? And do you think it's a good decision? And I've had a lot of different conversations with other folks. Actually, we'll answer that question, and I'll go and I'll have a follow-up question. So what do you think? Is this a good play for them?
This is going to be interesting, because I read the report, because I think it's going to be talks of the international title and the continental title. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to play out, especially considering the Continental Classic's happening at the end of the year. And also, where is this going to go? Because I understand they're trying to build up Okada and Kenny Omega for All In. It's just, where is the purpose of the both belts? Considering you have other superstars that you could work with on the mid-card talent. So I don't want to say yes or no with judgment yet, because I want to see how this is going to go first before I make a yes or no case. But I'm very curious on how this is going to go, and especially what happened this past weekend on Collision, because it looks like Okada has another opponent in Brody King. So I want to see how that plays out first. And then, of course, Kenny Omega is going to be facing off against Takeshita for the title this weekend on Revolution. So we'll see what happens after Revolution is done.
Okay. Will, sometimes in business, it's like you expand so much, you're spending a lot of money, and then you realize that you're not getting a return on your investment. Sometimes you have to downsize in order to expand later. Do you think this is what AEW is doing, or where do we see AEW in the next 2 to 3 years?
Triple H going, I've bought my competitor. That's what we gonna see in the next.
Oh man.
No, I think no. In all honesty, I think they just wisen up a little bit more. Again, we talked about this. It's too many belts and not enough stories going on. So if we're again I've completely forgot that there's a TNT title on Jack Perry's belt. When the last time he been on television? So it's like, I think they're just starting to get maybe a little wiser with like, okay, we see that, hey, we're filling these stadiums up. We are starting to figure out our groove a little bit. Now let's start getting our divisions in place like we need to. So that's at least the hope that I'm giving with this, especially combining the international title and the continental title, because to me, that's the exact same fucking belt. So combine them. I would like to see them succeed. As much as we make fun of it and stuff like that, I do want to genuinely see them succeed in what they're doing. So hopefully this is that next step that they're trying to do.
Okay. Honey, do you think that, when and if they do this for the men's titles, this is going to be the same thing for the women's titles as well? And what do you see show-wise? Do you think they're going to go to down to one show and the pay-per-view, and kind of do it like a TNA style for a little bit?
I think anything is possible for them. I think that Tony Khan should also combine as many belts and championships as he can, because he has way too freaking many. And maybe I would maybe have them keep maybe 2 shows. They have way too much talent and too many people on their roster to not be able to utilize them for more than 1 show.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, we'll see what the fake TK is going to do. I definitely, like I was saying to Will, I think sometimes in business, and WWE did this as well. You get to a point and you have to reassess and then adjust. That's business. That's how you stay in business. So, you know, I definitely don't hope Triple H is going to come 3 to 5 years and say, I've acquired a new asset. You know, then that becomes a monopoly again. And then, you know, it's like, you know, we start all over the process over again. So I don't think that's good. I think definitely spread the wealth, spread the talent, and kind of go from there. Something about talent, though. Rikishi says he considers Naomi to be the greatest Black female wrestler of all time. I'm going to start with you, honey, because a lot of y'all know my feelings about Naomi. Do you think this statement is accurate? Also, he did make note of Jacqueline and Jazz kind of being, you know, the kind of standard as far as where Black women have started, but Naomi kind of rounded it out. So what do you think of that statement, and do you agree with it?
I absolutely do agree with it. And Naomi has had a hell of a return since she's come back to WWE. She also was able to be brave enough and bold enough to know her worth and self-worth and move on to other things when the time came. With TNA, became a champion. And she just continues to push and elevate the women's division in a very unique way. But considering recent actions, there's a lot to be said about the integrity and question of Naomi, considering Elimination Chamber and what happened. But I do agree with Rikishi.
Okay. And Will, what do you think about these statements? Is Naomi the greatest Black female wrestler of all time in your, I guess, Mount Rushmore of Black female wrestlers?
On the Mount Rushmore, yeah, I will say that. I thought you meant like number 1. I'm like,
well, I think he said I outed the Mount Rushmore, but I guess who's the number 1, and I guess who would be on your Mount Rushmore?
I mean, Bianca is number 1. That's just gonna be me. Naomi would be my number 2. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna say Jacqueline, even though I love Jazz. And I don't want to say this just because Honey keeps like looking at us like that and piercing through our souls. But Mercedes Moné has to go up. She would have to go up there. But yeah, Naomi is definitely up there, and especially with this, especially with what happened at Elimination Chamber. Now that we gotta fear the glow. I think we get to now see a lot more. I think we get to now see the versatility of what Naomi can bring. I think like kind of what else would like what we saw, like we've seen Naomi in one like perception for so long.
Right.
And it's like now I think we really get to see her unfold and do like what we know she can do. And I just can't wait to see her be able to make that run. Nah, Mayor, I'm not gonna do that. Now that's what I'm not gonna do.
I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do that.
Yeah, I was like, look, I put her in there.
Absolutely,
number 1 is a lot.
Pump the brakes.
Boza, you don't get your ass whooped like that, and you didn't do nothing.
Well, if you were like on Twitter, there were some theories and stuff like that. So here's my hope. I agree with Rikishi, but I'm also biased, so I'll also put it there. There are some things that Naomi could have done that would have definitely solidified her as being number 1 overall. And if this is a heel turn and she goes all the way, then I think that would put her in the number 1 spot. However, she's in the Queen of the Ring movie, and I feel like this is, you know, for you guys who, you know, close your ears. She is in the Queen of the Ring movie. She is going to be doing press. So for the next week or two, this is kind of what she's going to be doing. So I don't know if this happened to give her the time to do that. Now, my question is, when she comes back, if she comes back and it's a heel turn or it's something different than what we've seen before, like you were saying, Will, then I'm definitely for it. But if we're getting the same Naomi that we've gotten for the last 10 years, then it's incredibly frustrating to me, because I've been rooting for Naomi for forever. But it's like you give somebody a chance, but they're doing the same thing, whether it's because management wants it or whether she's comfortable in it. I just want to see her, part of the pun glow. Like I want her to get the singles title. I want her, she got the tag team title was almost under false pretenses, meaning that she wasn't a part of the tag team when she kind of inherited it. And I wasn't really feeling that, but this is for the greater good of the storyline. And she ends up doing something that we didn't expect. Like, and we'll get into Elimination Chamber, how Jade came out, because what I saw in Jade, like we saw a certain part of Jade, but she took it to a whole nother level. And I loved seeing it. I didn't like seeing black on black crime, but if it's for the sake of the storyline and where we end up, and it ends up in a good spot where you're like, man, that was a really good angle, then great. If it's one of those angles where like, oh, wait, well, she beat the brakes off of Naomi and we haven't seen Naomi, and or Naomi comes back and she, pleads for her case or pleads for mercy, and there's nothing, that we can sink our teeth into it, then to me, it's just like, you've done Naomi a disservice. So, and then also, let's also be fair. I think Rikishi also is kind of biased. It is his daughter-in-law. So, you're gonna see the amazingness of.
I mean, but he got a point. Like, she's up there.
Oh no, she's definitely up there. She's definitely up there. It's just kind of like, it's kind of like Bianca. Bianca's like the full package, and it's just kind of like I just need, and I love, y'all know, I'm like Naomi ride or die, but it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, honey, you are now starting to scare me a little bit.
Okay. I thought it was just me. I'm like, no. I was like, I hope Pat, you never piss you off to look like that. Like, if it's scary like this in person, gotta be worse. Like I'd leave the house. You're like, look, I ain't going back home right now.
So we'll see what happens with that. I definitely agree with Rikishi for the amount of time and the amount of sometimes BS she had to go through to get to this point, because she could have quit a long time ago and just kind of done something else. So the fact that she coasted through all the good times and bad times and now she's here, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next for her. And congratulations on the movie.
Fear the glow. Fear
the
glow.
Yes.
I don't disagree.
Something not necessarily to fear. This is gonna be a terrible transition, so we'll just leave it there. WWE pulls CM Punk from upcoming Raw events. What do you think is happening here, given what we saw in Elimination Chamber, and also leading up to, we're very, very close to WrestleMania. We'll start with Will. What do you think? What do you think the reasoning is? The storyline behind it, and how this is going to play out for WrestleMania?
The reasoning is he's old. Just stop, bro. Leave. Stop this. You ain't got it no more. That ain't.
How old is CM Punk?
Huh?
How old is CM Punk? Bosa? Anybody?
53. I made that up. That probably is not true. I just made that up.
He is 40. He's 46.
Yeah.
But he moved like he 50 something. But I don't know. But in all seriousness, though, this might just be story wise too. Like I think this will be a good build up for that favor that's coming. Mm-hmm. Let that build up a little bit, and then he comes back, and then maybe Heyman comes back on Raw with him to do that favor and stuff. I could see that. Especially the storylines they're doing.
And what about you, honey? What do you think? What do you think the reasoning is for this? Do you think it's part of the storyline? Do you think it's he needs a little time in between bumps? What do you think the reason for his I was gonna say pull out? It's kind of funny.
I think it would be stupid if he. I think it would be a little stupid, especially after given this weekend, he was screwed out of an opportunity, and his goal was to main event WrestleMania. I think that they're doing this as part of a storyline in order to have him somehow show up and raise hell and pretty much demand some kind of way to have what happened be undone. Maybe Adam Pearce, or he can call in that favor.
And just for FYI, Damian Priest is 42, Finn Balor is 43, and Gunther is 37. And I think Xavier and Kofi are in their late 30s. So
Gunther is how old?
Gunther is 37, according to Google.
I thought you said 47.
Oh no, 37.
Oh.
So Courtney, as far as CM Punk is concerned, what do you think is going to be the play for him for WrestleMania?
I think, of course, storyline wise, when you have to think about it, of course, he's going to have his favor. He's going to raise a lot of hell on Raw, but he mostly wants Seth. It's going to be bad blood because after, and we'll talk about Elimination Chamber later, but what Seth did to him, he's going to be out for blood.
All right, so just for Bosa, we're going to get into Raw quickly. Apparently, said the check wasn't in the mail, but I mean, the
Excuses.
the check was sent out, and we don't do mail anymore, so I don't know what's wrong with his bank. But we are going to like who has checks? Who has checks anymore? I mean, really.
You said it. I was like, yeah, who gets their check mailed?
Who gets their check mailed? Like what? So for Raw tonight, we have Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, Laya Valkyria versus Ivy Nile, War Raiders versus American Made, and the world champion, Gunther appears. CM Punk is no longer going to appear. Bianca Belair is going to appear. And Seth Rollins is going to appear. So out of everything that's going to be happening on Raw tonight, Will, which one are you what are you more excited to see?
I mean, Rhea versus Io. Like, that's all I've been waiting for. I'm trying to find us a little theater on this boat to go plug my computer in so I can watch this match alone. Like, these two finna give us a show tonight. I cannot wait to see what happens and whatever's about to happen with the Intercontinental title. Like, I hope we get a broader picture of that and whatever is leading into WrestleMania. And I hope it is like what we talked about on Kayfabe, a triple threat match between him, AJ Styles, and Dominic.
All right. And Courtney, what are you most excited to see tonight?
Outside of Rio and Rhea Ripley, I actually am more intrigued on the Women's Intercontinental Championship between Lyra and Ivy because I want to see a lot of storyline builds between the two, especially after this match, because I think this is something that we've talked about a couple weeks ago where we want to build a lot of storylines on the women's mid-card titles. So I think this is something that I really like to see. Of course, I'm always excited to see tag teams, the War Raiders, and I would love for them to at least get a legit storyline between American Made or possibly the New Day, because I really want to see the Raw tag team division amp it up a little bit, while also seeing at least the Intercontinental title with Braun Breaker, because the stare down between Braun and AJ, yeah, that is something to watch there.
Yes.
And Miss Honey, what are you most excited to see tonight?
All of it.
With that being said, Dylan, you already know what to clip. With that being said, I am, y'all, I'm definitely about storylines, and the ongoing story of Bianca, the big three, where that all plays. The fact that Bianca won Elimination Chamber. Once Naomi, and we're going to get into Elimination Chamber right after this, but once Jade and Naomi went at it, I thought Bianca was done. I didn't actually think she was going to win. So the fact that she won, I didn't see the press conference, but I know she had some things to say, and she's going to have some things to say tonight. I'm really excited I'm really excited for them to continue the storyline. I don't think some storylines they kind of give it everything. Like they put all the great writers on it. They put all the zhuzh and all that stuff. And some storylines are like, okay, here's the one writer who's been begging to do something and whatever. I'm really hoping that they really put some respect on this storyline, that we can actually sink our teeth into it. Like, you know, the whole Jade thing was great. We didn't know when she was going to come back. There were predictions she came back, but I don't think anybody expected her to come back like that. So it was definitely, so that's what I'm most excited to see.
And Bianca didn't say anything. She literally was like, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm trying to stay focused on WrestleMania. She was like, I tried to find Naomi. Of course, she wasn't back there. I tried to look for Jade. She wasn't back there. She was like, it's bittersweet, but she's like, I'm just trying to stay focused on WrestleMania. So she gave nothing away. So it's going to, like you said, it's going to be very interesting when both of them return and she's there at that same arena.
All right, y'all, and let's get into it because we were all working various jobs, etc., this weekend. Actually, no, I was also there, but shout out to my mom. Happy birthday to my mom. So we didn't get to do a watch along or a post show. So we're gonna do a quick wrap up of well, not quick, but a wrap up of Elimination Chamber. We'll just start off first overall. What you guys liked about it, and keep it short because we're gonna go match by match. We have time. So Will, since you're on the C, what did you like most about Elimination Chamber, and how would you rate it overall?
I rated
cinema.
Whoo! Sweet Christmas. Oh, probably the best one so far in 2025. Like, they gave us everything we wanted in the PLE, and it was just 4 matches. That's the wild thing. It was only 4 matches, and we got all we needed. I'm giving it, you know what? I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give it gave me everything I wanted.
And what about you, Courtney? How would you rate it?
I'm actually gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I actually did enjoy the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber because there were some spots that I did like, and there were some spots I kind of scratched my head. I'm like, what is this? But overall, it really kind of exemplified the road to WrestleMania, because this is pretty much their final stop before WrestleMania, and it's going to get everybody excited, and especially getting people who have never watched wrestling before, especially on the mainstream audience, really getting hyped up for WrestleMania, since it will be in Vegas and it's almost around the corner.
So we have some people in the chat. We have I was going to say Boza, I thought it was an okay show. Felt like they were just going through the motions to set up for the decision. Christopher says Roxanne Perez did great.
Damn right.
I mean, and also Sindel says Roxanne was eliminated too early. Honey, what did you think overall for Elimination Chamber?
I also agree with my tag team partner. I believe it is a 10 out of 10. Gave me everything I needed as a wrestling fan, including the shock value. To kick it off with the women's was a very big statement. And the way they kicked it off before even the bell rang was just letting me know pretty much, if that's the way we're going to start it, how the hell is this going to finish? What's going to top that? So,
and
I think the latching on factor of can't wait to see what they do next is my favorite part of seeing storytelling through wrestling like that. So 10 out of 10 for me.
Saying I would have opened with the tag match to give Trish a bigger pop. 9 out of 10. I actually agree with Honey and Will with this. So we're going to start off with the Women's Elimination Chamber. We had Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, and Roxanne Perez. So I've been chomping at the bit to talk about this because, oh my God. There are a lot of theories on the internet for you guys who are just joining. I was in the building for it. It was crazy. The one theory was that Bianca and Naomi were wearing white Jay came out, beat the brakes off of Naomi, and she was wearing black. There's that whole thing. And with that being said, Bianca ends up winning the Elimination Chamber. So with this particular match or this Elimination Chamber, what did you like play by play? What went in your mind? Because I actually did, and I normally don't do this. When it was happening, I actually did a shock moment on my phone. I was like, wait, what? Like, because the beating wasn't just a small beating. Like, she beat her around the ring and then beat her outside the ring. Like, I thought it was like more of a beating. Like, here I am, I'm popping up. Now you can continue, but I'm not done with you. No, she beat her to it was not funny, but it's like, oh, this is what we're doing.
She beat her like rent was due.
Yes.
She beat her like she used to steal her lunch money when they were in school together. Jesus. Like, and shout out to Bianca because she also need an Oscar because she just amplified it even more. Like, yo, hitting the glass, what are you doing? Like, and then closing the door on her. I'm like, I like, to your point, TK, I just don't want, I like, if it is her, I hope Naomi come back and own it. Like, don't be like, no, I don't know why it was like that. Like, nah, I'll be like, nah, it was me. I sure did do it. We had to sit here and carry your ass this whole time, and I don't never get my shine. No,
you just got here. You just got here. Yeah.
Yeah, like own, like if they let her own it, or we own it. Nah, she gotta be in something higher than that, dog. She gotta be something higher than that top pair move, dog. She was in Bel Air too, but it's time for put Bianca in the Zoe Saldana movie. Get her a real Oscar. It's time.
Oh my goodness. So after Bianca won, she walked off, and she Io Sky and Rhea Ripley came out. What do you think? What because this is gonna play out obviously in WrestleMania. Bianca has to make her decision. What do you think is the best decision? Because now there's kind of like two storylines that are happening. Because you have Bianca, like you guys talked about when she's the press conference, she's just focused on, all right, this happened all around me, but I'm still Bianca Belair, and I'm going to concentrate on the gold. So there's that storyline, but she still has the friendship. Like, were these ladies really her friends? Like, did she not to say did she really care, but there's a whole nother thing playing. So there's two, she has almost two separate storylines. So what do you think is going to play out? And do you think it will push her forward to the win? Or do you think it's just kind of, it's a placeholder for one of the other champions, Rhea or Io?
So can I ask you this then? With that, to help answer this question, do you think we have enough time to sell Rhea, and let's say Rhea wins? Do we have enough? Is it enough time to sell the Bianca and Rhea match, or is it too soon because of how much we've been anticipating seeing the both of them in the ring? Have they pulled the trigger too early?
I guess it would depend on who wins.
Yeah.
Well, let's say Rhea wins. Let's say Rhea wins tonight. Do you think they're gonna give the impact of what that match can be between Bianca and Rhea? Do we have enough time to build it up? And especially what you just said, TK, with this other storyline going.
Maybe it could turn into a triple threat.
That's where I was going. See,
and it could be Io versus Rhea versus Bianca Belair, and they all have something. They all have something on the other. Rhea hasn't beaten Io Sky. Bianca has been pinned by Io Sky last year a couple times, and they put on a hell of a match on Raw. So all three of them in the ring together, I think, would be fun. I'm not going to say that that's exactly what's going to happen, but what I am saying is that would be fun.
That's what I'm going for. I'm going for Io to beat Rhea, and we get a triple threat match. Because then it saves that. It still Mania? Saves. Yeah, because it saves the Rhea and Bianca match to build it. And then, because again, like to Cyndiel's point, what is the point of having Io do this, lose, and now not be in the Mania picture?
Right.
Because like, what does she do next?
Yeah.
Are we also saying that Bianca could also have her first loss at WrestleMania?
No, because Bianca can win at WrestleMania and pin Io. Again, we don't have
And
to
then-
have a crazy long reign with her, but it's just like she deserves, like Io deserves to be a Mania.
Agreed.
I
I think all three of them would be fun.
I think they would be fun. I don't know if I want to see that in Mania. If it does happen in Mania, then I feel like we need to see Rhea and Bianca at SummerSlam. If that's going to be the play. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot. The good thing is, and this is how I feel, how you know it's going to be a good WrestleMania is one, you don't know what's happening. Like there's too many theories. This kind of like, you know, the whole thing when we were talking about The Rock was coming back for, was it WrestleMania 40 in LA? Like there's too many theories. We don't know what's going to happen. The same thing what happened last year in Philly. I think this makes for great WrestleMania watching and anticipation of it. So I'm for it. You know, I'm always just like Naomi. I always want Bianca to have the win. But you know, for the sake of the storyline, we're gonna see what happens. Then it was who was next? Oh, the Tiffany Stratton. Oh, Nia Jax, Candice LeRae versus Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus.
Whoa. So we just gonna not highlight how my client went in there was a pure star and the MVP of the Elimination Chamber. We just gonna skip over this?
You had your moment. You could have said it.
Well, I thought you said play by play, and we were starting with the Jade thing. You know,
no,
so
I mean overall play by play. But yes, talk. Oh, okay. My bad. Let's run it back. Talk about your client.
My client is a star. She showed y'all she's a star and why she is the greatest women's wrestler in the world right now. It took 3 former champions to beat my client. They jumped my client in order to beat her. So I just want to throw that out there. Okay. You look at future champion.
I will say that although I do agree with that statement, I don't agree with her being the MVP. I believe it was Liv Morgan.
It was Liv Morgan. I'm not gonna lie. It was.
Liv Morgan was Shawn Michaels in that Elimination Chamber.
She was incredible.
And I no longer want to hear the words Mid Morgan ever again.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. Did y'all see the picture she posted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, y'all can't ever say nothing bad about her no more.
Never.
Not just Liv Morgan, but I also have to give the dark horse pick to Alexa Bliss because she definitely had a strong showing considering this is her first pay-per-view back this year. And the stare down between her and Liv, that's going to cook up something.
Hold on. Could we see? I don't know if this is too quick to cook up. Judgment Day versus Wyatt 6 at Mania.
Oh,
because all the components are there. Yo, that'd be something right there. Judgment Day versus Wyatt 6. Just throwing it out there.
I'm not gonna read that. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Liv, you know, it's kind of one of those things where we're in this kind of microwave generation. And I think one of these wrestling legends was the one. I think it was Devon Dudley who said that. It's kind of a microwave generation that we're not allowing wrestlers to cook, to grow, to kind of come in with who they are. Some of them actually make it, like Liv, meaning that you saw her through all the processes to where she is right now. And some of them don't, whether it's they, don't get the character, they don't get the right character, all the things, but just allowing wrestlers to cook. And also it could be by putting that pressure on Liv, calling her Mid Morgan, all the things, and people not necessarily believing in her, it kind of pushed her to this point where she is a diamond now. It could be one of two things, but you definitely have to acknowledge where she is right now, because she did I thought And I think kayfabe, you guys did have a prediction show, but I thought just watching it live that everything was playing out. I thought Liv was going to take it. So you know, I think she did an amazing job. Roxanne as well. I am curious to see. I am curious and slightly worried as far as what they're going to do with Roxanne, as far as overall storyline, how they're going to insert her to something. I hope she doesn't get lost in the sauce. But with that being said, you know,
we probably get her versus Bailey, but because to Bose's point, technically she's still in NXT. Technically, she's still an NXT star, so they may bring her back for Stand and Deliver, and then especially with everything that's going on in NXT, it's a lot of toss up as what are we getting at Stand and Deliver,
right?
Especially with what's happening at Roadblock, like. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother show, because I know we still got more to cover on Elimination Chamber.
With that being said, now we can move on to WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, who beat Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. We'll start with Candice. Sorry, we'll start with Courtney. They're like, Will's like, who's Candice? We'll start with Courtney.
Candace.
I'm like, you got Candice LeRae on here? I'm like, okay. Let's go, TK.
You know, we could be pulling some things by the end of this year. Bank on that. But Courtney, what did you think of this match?
Well, first off, I'm just always happy to see my poison little pixie in action because she had solid. But I just love seeing Trish. It's just such a treat. And of course, Tiffany Stratton. I can't forget about the champ. But Trish, she looked like she never missed a beat. And it's so ironic. And it's so ironic. We're in March 19, 2000 is her debut. It's just crazy. And just seeing her because, and it's so ironic because I was saying this when I did my watch on for SmackDown last week. I said, I think she's going to face off against Nia Jax at WrestleMania. And she said this in a few interviews many times a couple of years ago that she really wanted to face Nia Jax.
I have a theory with that. Also, fun fact, Trish Stratus is 49 years old. So just FYI with that. Will, what did you think about this match?
It was great. It was what Toronto needed to see. Great for Tiffy, of course, boosting her as a face. I don't know if I'm Boza, you can also let us know, but I think this was what Candice LeRae's first PLE that she was actually like she's been a part of since she's moved up. I'm not sure, but if it is, I'm just glad again to see her in action, being able to do her thing again. Just Nia Jax just keeps continuing to get better and better throughout the match. So this was and I know what we were gonna get his opinion on it, but to Mayor's point, I know he wanted this to open the show, but I think this was a great follow-up to the Elimination Chamber of how they lined up these matches. I think that's what we needed to see right after everything that's happened.
So Jerry in the chat saying they could have left this off the card. This was a match for Raw. With that being said, honey, what did you think of this match?
I thought this match was amazing. It was obviously in celebratory of Trish's 25 years in the WWE. I was totally wrong about predicting Nia and Candice LeRae possibly winning this match, going with the hometown hero embarrassment, and I thought they were going to kind of go that route, but I'm glad they didn't. It was very powerful, but I think that there's something that we need to remember here, and that Tiffany Stratton needs to say, thank you, Trish. And it's all thanks to this picture right here.
I mean, is that not thank you though, right there?
No. That's not a thank you. That's Trish Stratus pointing at the title, and she might be coming for Tiffany Stratton. I smell shenanigans.
Ooh.
I mean,
well, fun fact, and we'll bring him on. So I was there and I was looking for the clip, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like, well, one, Trish has called out a lot of people. She called out Nia. She called out Mercedes. She called out Tiffany. She's called out a couple people. And I love the fact she drops these Easter eggs in different places because it was actually, I think Trish was our maybe 6th or 7th show. WWT after the pandemic that she came on. She called out Mercedes, but Tiffany Stratton is also called Trish old. So I just find it very odd that like now y'all's friends. So
hey man, wait, why y'all bringing up old shit? What we doing?
Because
that was a year ago.
That was a year ago.
We on Trishy time right now.
Exactly. It was a year ago.
Did anybody ask Trish about that in the press conference?
No, Trish didn't get on the press conference.
She didn't get on the press conference.
No.
Neither did Tiffany.
It was only
no.
They only had Bianca, then it went straight to Triple H, John Cena and what he did, and then The Rock. Those were the only 4 that did the press.
Yeah, because I'm really curious about that. Because I'm like, and yes, it was a year ago, but like you can't flip flop like that. With that being said, speaking of flip flops, we are the. Sedi Sed's in the building. What up, Sed?
Can we take some time to acknowledge all the drip that's going on with the mayor right now, from the shirt to the headpiece, sir? Outstanding.
See, I was gonna wait till 5 p.m. And do y'all a little funky watch along and stuff like that. But I want to know how we are on TK Trinidad's internet and Mercedes Moné not the best Black women's wrestler of all time. I just want to know how.
You should have came on when we were talking about that story.
I was in traffic. I didn't want to crash. I started to.
She's a hot number 3 at least.
No, but in regards to that Trish Stratus match, it was in such a bad spot on the card. I feel like Toronto didn't get a chance to go as hard for Trish as they should have. That's what I wrote in the chat earlier. I think if they would have opened with that, she would have got the necessary pop, and you could have still did all the Jade stuff, and they would have been hot for it. But being sandwiched in between the women's elimination chamber with that big reveal and the unsanctioned match, they were in no man's land. Even though it was a good match, they were kind of still in shock. People were kind of still in shock of everything.
Yeah,
but you gotta remember though,
what are you gonna say, Will?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you remember, you need that first hour to draw everybody in, not just them in the arena, but viewers as well. So as much as it would have been dope for like Toronto to see Trish, would that been the one to get all the viewers they need for the first hour?
No. You needed that, because it was at the moment Jade came out, like because I had another, because y'all know I have multiple windows open. I had another window open. I'm just seeing the feeds. I'm seeing the stories popping out. It's just kind of like, yes, Trish is the hometown hero, and Trish is gonna get the love either way. But I think that how it went, you need the ebbs and flows. I always kind of quote X-Pac on this. It's kind of like you can't be on number 10 for a whole PLE. It's for a human being to consume that. It's not great. You need the ebbs and flows. And even though like Trish was gonna get this pop from the hometown anyway, people are gonna watch because she's Trish Stratus, but it wouldn't have got the pop across mainstream media that WWE is going for. Because if you look at the people that were in almost every show or every PLE, they make sure that they have some form of celebrity in the building. That's not by accident. So they're not catering to the folks who watch week in, week out. They're catering to, press that doesn't necessarily cover it all the time. The amount of press and the type of people that I heard that were coming from press in Canada were not people that watch. They were like kind of casual fans. They weren't the typical people that you see in the press. So WWE and Netflix, they're going for a different beast. And I think they might in tandem kind of constructed which match was going where. So although I agree with you, just on a mainstream media tip, I don't think that would have been the play. With that being said, you want to get to this unsanctioned match. Kevin Owens defeats Sami Zayn what do you guys think of this match? We'll start with Mare, since she's doing the Raw show after. So, give you some time.
I don't need no time. I just switch the link. I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. But it exceeded my expectations. I think I was the most critical of this match going in because you have all these. Like, what's an unsanctioned match versus a no holds barred versus a falls count anywhere? All these different nuances that they throw at you, and there's nothing really to stand out. And I felt like both performers really did a good job of selling the animosity between the two. I think that's what was missing with the build being so fast. Is like, what's different between this chapter of Kevin and Sami? And they were able to kind of showcase that. Sami kept referring to his neck not being 100%, which was good. I felt like they did a good job of the one thing I hate about these matches is things don't go backstage anymore. I was happy that they went throughout the entire arena for the most part. I would have liked them to go to the concession stand where JB eating and all that. But you know what? They went up the stairs a little bit. So that was cool. But the finish to the match as well really captivated what felt like I don't want to say a definitive end, but it felt like Kevin had to go to a dark place, which I think is going to set up him and Randy perfectly.
Jeffrey saying y'all notice how they lowered the lights and the ref shirts was all black and black gloves. I didn't notice that. Did you guys notice that?
I did. I noticed the light. I didn't notice the referee shirt, but I noticed the light change. Yeah, they lowered like y'all audience lights. They lowered those.
All right. Honey,
yeah.
What did you think of this match?
The match was great. The match did exactly what it needed to do. I love chaos. I always choose chaos. And of course, to the way it ended with the legend killer, rightfully so, to put a cap on it. I think the match just did what it needed to do in order to solidify how deep this goes between Kevin and Sami, especially if other fans had never understood it before, which is why we're getting it again. So most of us who have been fans of the independent scene that have been watching consistently know exactly where this is rooted from. Fight if they could go on to Fight Forever 3080 and we'll still watch it.
Courtney, what did you think?
I will say this after watching this match. This was a solid match that both Sami and Kevin had. I mean, even the people were chanting Fight Forever in the stands. And they really did deliver. It was chaos. It was mayhem. It was everything that you expected to be, especially from Kevin Owens. But also we got to see Randy Orton come back and return. And he wants revenge against Kevin Owens. And that's a possibility to lead up to their match again at WrestleMania. So they both delivered. And I thought it was a very good, solid match by both of them.
Yeah. And Will, kind of speaking to what Ced was talking about, he was also in the chat saying there wasn't enough, they weren't backstage enough, or they weren't doing, unsanctioned, the word unsanctioned with the unsanctioned match justice. What did you think overall of this match?
It was great. If this is the last one, I hope this is the end of this crap. Stop. It's done. It's over. Like I hope this was Avengers Endgame for this rivalry. Like I hope this was the last one, and they did what they need to do. I get them not going to the backstage or concession just because that's, I guess, for like to try to protect them so they don't do so much. But the only reason why I'm saying this is because Sami lost again. So you're a loser again. like I thought he was gonna win and he didn't. And it's like, what is the point of y'all doing this then? If you're never gonna win, like end this, please end this and go do something else. Not when it's like, oh, Sami's lost his heat. Hey, let's have him fight Kevin again so we might get it back. Oh, we're going to give him an intercontinental run. That didn't go too well. So you know what we're going to do? Make him and Kevin fight again. It was a great match to what I hope is the end of a rivalry. highlight for me is that the punt kick is back from Randy Orton. That was the highlight of all of this. The punt kick is back. And I cannot wait to see KO versus RKO at Mania because it's going to be insane. And I can't wait for him to kick Kevin's head smooth off. But for Mick Foley Jr., it's like, what's next now? Like, I just don't like seeing him restart every time now. Like, what does he do now? What's for him? Is it going to be Karrion Kross? And if it's that, it's like, what? Is Karrion Kross choke him out at Mania and not win? Like, bruh.
So FYI, because we've been talking about ages, so if you guys have been with us for the whole show, you know why I'm saying this. Both Kevin and Sammy are 40 years old, and given the fact that our superstars are staying healthier longer, I don't think this is going to be the last time we're going to see them. With that being said, I am happy that Randy Orton's back. I guess question quickly before we get into the last match for Elimination Chamber. With Randy Orton back, what do you think is next for him? And do you think there's going to be something for him as far as Mania is concerned? And also, before you do that, shout out to Junk Punch Hero for becoming a member of WWT Live. For you guys who have been members for a long time, let me just say, things are coming. There's stuff that's happening in the back end. So for the people who have been members, there are things that are coming your way. There's going to be a total reorganization of our membership process for WWT. So just hang with us and stuff will be coming your way. So thank you guys for your support. So yes, with that being said, who did I ask the question to? I now forgot.
I think you're asking a general question about where Randy fits.
Yes, where Randy fits. Yes, thank you. Will.
Oh, we're getting Randy versus KO at Mania. And I hope it's some kind of stipulation to it.
That's what Jeffrey is saying.
Same. Yeah.
Same, honey, Courtney?
Yeah.
And Seti said, Mayor said.
Yeah, I think that's a logical thing. But I think this is a part of Kevin continuing his comeuppance on everybody else.
All right, so this brings us to our very last match. John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul in Elimination Chamber. John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. Overall, what do you guys think about this match? And
Cinema.
Because I think there was a question asked as far as did they think the women's elimination chamber should have ended the show versus being the first. So we'll start with Will. What did you think as far as entirety of this match in general? And do you think it was the right placement?
Oh yeah, no, it was the right placement. Even for what came next, this was one of the chambers that actually did, I feel like, keep up with the women's chamber. The only thing I'll say I felt odd, and maybe like y'all can maybe clear it up for me, it's just kind of what I saw. Felt slightly rushed this chamber match. Because the ref seemed like he went to 3 counts very fast when the eliminations were coming. And so it was just like I felt like I was like maybe they went over time and they were trying to clear this out. But I feel like, we could have had them, cook just a little bit more in the Elimination Chamber, especially like between Drew and Damian. But I like we've talked about on Kayfabe, all of them in there walked out with potential Mania matches. And that's what I really did enjoy about it. With all the spots that we saw, everything that we saw come together, the way Seth Rollins curb stomped CM Punk and made him pass that, like, yo, that was just like he said, if I ain't going, you ain't going. And he stood on that. The only thing I wish he'd have done, I wish he'd have took both feet and just went at his head like he did Roman. But I enjoyed every minute of it. And it made me I wasn't mad at watching Cena win. Some people felt like that, are just kind of like, oh, we know Cena's gonna win and stuff like that. It didn't feel like that's what it got set up like. Like they played it just right with him in there. Agreed. Even like the stuff between him and Punk, I thought that was really cool too.
Agreed. Honey, what were your feelings, overall feelings? And then also, once she's done, Will, could you give a number, a ranking of it? So, honey, what did you think overall?
I have never been more happier in my life to be able to witness this heel turn. Yet another heel turn of many that have been able to grace our screens. But before we get there, I just think that there was a lot of things to point out. He had the baby blue color. We know baby blue's been affiliated with some things being told about, having a lot left in the tank. Number two, he took advantage of the fact that CM Punk was down at the end, so I knew something had to be immediately wrong there. Logan Paul was very exceptional in this match as well. I will say that, and that's it. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, the hate just continues to brew within, and I think Seth is going to become a marked man for his actions. Damian Priest did great. Drew McIntyre, another one on point. There's really nothing left to say there. CM Punk, obviously not the best night for him, especially with the way it ended. But again, this goes to show you that I think that with the storytelling and everything, this just could go in any direction by the time we get to Mania. But we obviously know where a lot of it's going.
Courtney, what did you think overall? Oh, sorry, and rank it. How would you rank it, honey? And Will?
Both Elimination Chambers, I think, were neck and neck, as Will said. 10 out of 10 for both.
And Courtney, what did you think overall?
I actually did enjoy the males match because there was a lot of elements of storytelling within all four. Logan Paul did what he did, and everybody booed him, and that's what he did. So he had a solid performance. Drew McIntyre and Damian, I saw the stare down between them, and they are probably going to have a storyline or a match between them somewhere down the line. Seth, I will never forget Seth telling John Cena when CM Punk is down, saying, "He's mine. He is mine." He was like, nobody else can attack him but me. It was just, Seth was just ruthless, and he wanted CM Punk to lose. So I really did enjoy the match. All of them did what was best. John, I kind of said something was up after CM Punk was senseless. I was just like, something isn't right. Something was not right. But I was happy John won. And overall, it was a really good, solid match. And I give it a 10 out of 10 for both the men and women.
Okay. Mayor, what do you think? Quickly, not to rush you, but I want to get into this Cody Cena thing. So you can get to
first,
work.
I'll say it was a 9. I enjoyed the women's chamber more, just from like an in-ring work rate type of thing. I thought there was better spots in the women's chamber. I did call Logan Paul being in the bottom 4. So I think everybody's eliminations made sense for storylines. Drew being upset early aids to him, like the taunting and, hey, I'm in your face, like you get eliminated. Damian Priest and him will probably have a Mania match. Paul and Punk did the exact same sequence that he did with Hangman Page and AEW to eliminate Logan Paul. I don't even know if anybody caught that. I thought that was pretty cool callback. Logan Paul is really good in the ring. Like, he's made for these matches, for the big spots. He's a good utility piece you use throughout the year. And I thought that genuine emotion between Cena and Punk was very, very cool. I thought that was good to see after all these years. I think that was a real moment. I don't think that was planned or scripted. And I think it's more layers into what Cena did later on. But like them going with the betting odds, like the favorites were Bianca and Cena going in, this is one of the times where it made sense and they executed on it.
I almost cried tears of joy. It wasn't until the very end.
Okay. With that, what were you gonna say, Will?
No, I was just saying that was just really dope to see with everything that's happened. It was just like, if you know what they've gone through, you've been a part of all those moments. It was like, and knowing it's like dang, this is last year here, and it's like, yeah, that was dope.
I didn't, because we've seen Cena in and out for a couple of years, so I didn't actually think I wanted him to win because I feel like this is his last year. You know, he has to do something. But I didn't think it was going to happen. I also didn't expect all the shenanigans to ensue after. So we had Cody and Rock. Rock had a really good monologue. Whoever wrote that for him, clearly very movie magic, not wrestling wise. Meaning not wrestling wise, it was very like big and over the top, like a telenovela type thing. Sorry for my dog, she's barking up the next dog across the street.
Cinema.
It was very telenovela, and you know, Cody's response, and I think everybody could tell once Cody started talking what he was going to say. But the swerve, oh my, the swerve at the end from Mr. John Cena was unexpected. It was beautifully executed. It was everything that I don't think anybody could imagine, because I don't think if we can go back to all the podcasts and all the predictions and stuff, I don't think, and if there are people out there, just say you did it and then also provide the tape. Don't just say you called in and don't provide the tape.
Shadow says she called it on Friday. I think it was an article though.
Oh, well, provide the article. With that being said, it was beautifully executed. So we will go
even more beautifully the fact that none of that was planned to a certain point.
Oh, really?
Like nothing like right after he said go F yourself, all of that is off script. All of it.
Okay.
Only thing it was like, yo, I'm switching tonight. That was it. Like if you watch, like, and we'll talk about it, Rock's press conference, that's why that's even more cinema.
Let me correct you here, Boza. Rock can beat Cody Rhodes because he did already last year. Just saying.
Was that in question?
Well, he said he can't beat Cody Rhodes, so he found someone to do it for him. Rock don't need to beat Cody Rhodes for him.
John trying to be the highest paid actor in Hollywood too. I respect it.
Yep.
Well,
can y'all imagine when he ditched these damn headbands and George to start wearing these Hurt Business suits?
Mm-hmm.
He probably can't wait to wear them damn suits.
Well, because you lose it, you never win.
Oh boy!
That stuff is
If you remember the press conference from Money in the Bank, somebody did ask him about the jorts, and you know, he's going to keep them, and he's like, no, I'm going to be doing stuff in the back office. And also to the fact that Cena has been in movies. He's been in a movie with Rock. Cena's been doing a lot of voiceovers. Like he's been doing voiceovers for like Chair, for anything. If you listen to it, it's typically Cena's voice.
It's very awkward when you think about it. So I'll be like, is that John Cena?
Right. And he's hosted reality shows, all the things. And, you know, I think once Cody was talking, there was something that clicked inside of me. It's like, oh, well, I think somebody had said it. Oh, Cena has already sold his soul. Technically, if you look at it and the trajectory of, you know, Cena, The Rock, and now Cena's, you know, movie career and stuff like that, and the fact that The Rock is the most followed individual across social media platforms as far as male-wise, all the things, why wouldn't you align yourself with The Rock? Why haven't you? It seems like he's already done that even before this came into play. So when this happened, it made so much sense. Like, oh, okay, he's been doing that. Y'all didn't know, meaning everybody else didn't know. He was just playing the nice guy, but behind the scenes, The Rock was helping him, or DJ was helping him collect those checks and putting him in those positions. So it makes sense, and it goes for storyline beyond just wrestling, but into mainstream media. I don't
John Cena is the face of McDonald's right now. That should tell you everything. Yeah, he's the lead commercial guy right now for McDonald's.
I know he don't eat no damn McDonald's.
This man literally went ba 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 ba. I'm loving it. I'm like, yeah, he been sold his soul. Been signed.
Maybe he likes the nuggets. Maybe he likes the nuggets.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
because he
said
tried the chicken mac on Kai Cenat stream. Like they all tried the chicken mac together. You had a suit with a fucking Big Mac chain on. I was like, oh yeah, John Ben sold his soul.
Courtney, what did you think?
Whew. It was pure cinema. First off, because I said this in the chat, Kylie's baby daddy did not need to be in there. Number one, just get him out of there. Get him out of there.
Can we talk about it?
Get him out of there because honestly,
damn check.
I did not.
Kylie's baby daddy. He don't even have
I didn't
a
know
name.
they weren't.
Yes.
together.
They
That's
were.
Kylie's baby daddy. Okay.
Yep, they have two.
They
Oh,
kids.
would you look at? Oh wait. Oh, it's no. Unfortunately.
Because I will say this: if you know and if you follow Kylie, you know. But
Yeah, they
I
haven't been
also-
together for a minute.
Yeah, but he got kids with her. He got two
Yeah.
kids.
She
But
most, she most successful than him. So
and it was hard because I was
as
like,
we said,
and the funny part about it is Drake was in the audience, and I was just like, wait,
Mhm.
he's in the audience?
Yeah.
He's in the
I
audience.
feel like they didn't even highlight him. Did they put him on the Jumbotron at all?
No.
no, they
So,
didn't. They did not.
Wow.
Maybe Ice Cube said that
Cedric.
they ask if you want to be shown, and I guess he declined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably
said
for the
baby
best.
I mean, but he like he showed himself every time like they did the shot with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. Like
Yeah.
you saw him
Mhm.
like this and stuff the whole time with him and Yachty. So I was like, okay, I guess we not highlighting him. What's up?
Yeah.
Probably for the best.
No.
Well, you called it. We have about 4 minutes before we head out. Where do you think Travis This is terrible. Where do you think Travis Scott's in play here? Because there are reports saying that he's in training. Do you think it's going to be a Bad Bunny situation? This is not his first go around with WWE this year. So do you think he's going to be in play WrestleMania?
It's not going to be
get
bad,
his
buddy.
ass
Please
out
no.
of here, dog.
Please no.
Get his ass. I'm sorry.
Please
No,
no.
this is not Logan. This is not Bad Bunny. Like I
Definitely
said
not.
this. In 20 years, we gonna be talking about this heel turn, and the sore thumb that's gonna stick out is Travis Scott. At the end, when the three of them was standing there and the credits was growing, it looked like Travis is photoshopped in. Like, why are you here? You don't even take instructions right. You were
Nasty
supposed to
handle
hold
record.
Cody Rhodes' arms so he could take this whipping. You not paying attention because you hired in a fucking satellite and then slap the shit out of Cody like you weren't supposed to. Then you in the corner acting like your brain. Who the fuck is doing this in the ring while the heel turn is happening? Why are we doing this while the heel turn is happening?
That was so bizarre.
Why do you need the joint lit while you're in the why were you in the ring? I understand the entrance, but get out the ring. We finna have history right here. And because we got 4 minutes.
These are the only words I have for the Travis Scott being in that ring.
Hey, sit the fuck down, Funaki!
All of that.
Not really necessary. Didn't really need
This
to.
is what pushes back the celebrity agenda now. This right here is why people be so hesitant about having celebrities involved.
Yeah, it just reeks of pandering, and I don't think it's going to be Bad Bunny because Cody pulled up to Bad Blood and all that stuff with Metro Boomin, so it's going to get worse.
You honestly didn't
Nasty
need
levels of
you
pandering.
honestly didn't even need the star power of Travis Scott in this situation because Cody, Cena, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the final boss, is more than enough star power, especially
That's all you needed.
with this
That's
picture.
all.
What was
That's all you
Travis
needed.
Scott's last album? What the kids listening to these days? Because I
Don't
don't
even know.
He has
know.
the theme song for WrestleMania, Fiend.
Yeah.
That
And
guy.
And the theme song for Raw, I believe. Raw on Netflix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does he?
Yeah, I think it's
Oh,
like
okay.
he has. Yeah, you're right, Courtney. With that being said, that was a very spirited conversation. But we have to
Hold on,
let
honey. I
us.
think honey had something.
I did want to say Cena also deserves an Oscar for being able to create the greatest heel turn with just one facial expression change.
Yes,
I've never
Grow a
seen his
goatee
face
though. He got to grow some facial hair though.
Stop
Like,
that. You stopped. You know he can't do that. You know he can't do that. Stop.
Why he can't?
He can't grow one. He said that before. He can't grow
Really?
facial hair.
I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he said that before because someone asked him that. He was like, yo, I can't. If I could, I would. I can't.
With technology, we got units now. Kenny Smith then got the unit for the beard on NBA on TNT.
Stop.
He got a fake
If that
beard.
was the case,
Floyd Mayweather got a fake beard.
He could have got this fixed up here if he's going that route. All right, John. That's just not John.
I just won't put it past science. It's out there. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, all right.
You need that him.
With
But
that
TK,
being
what
said,
you thought about it? Like you were there.
it like you were saying and like you were playing, it was cinema. It was crazy, it was unexpected, and just kind of giving you guys a glimpse into the media rooms in covering these events. There's kind of like there's a few people who like will be audible with things that happen during events, but typically everybody's, you know, they're like professional, and I say that in quotations because it depends on who you're talking to, but everybody was shocked. Everybody was like glued, like, you know, because usually what happens is, you know, it's getting ready to the end, and either you're going to the press conference or you're going home, you want to beat the traffic, all these things. So people are already packing up. But when, you know, this conversation was happening, you're like, wait, what? And, you know, people are starting to move forward because we were kind of like on the middle level. It was unexpected, which is great. I love the fact that WWE is now getting into the point, because there was a time where you could predict what's going to happen in the PLEs, or back then the pay-per-views. There was a time that you can, you know, you would see the card for Raw or SmackDown and you would call that was happening. There was a time being an AfterBuzz where you really didn't even need to really watch the show per se and still can get the old general gist. There's so many surprises. There's so many elements that are happening right now with WWE, and this particular, that face, like you're talking about, honey, and how the camera knew, because also too, you have to give it up to the people day in, day out that are behind the scenes for WWE and AEW and other platforms that do this on a daily. Like the cameraman has to know, right? And he has to be in the right position to catch it, because oftentimes you see a lot of wrestling promotions, and it's no shade to anybody. It just speaks to money, capital, all this stuff, that you're seeing an angle of a wrestler and you're getting a side profile when they should be in the front of it. And that could be either due to the camera person or the wrestler. The timing of everything that happened.
Also the guy in the back. Also the guy in the back that's running, that's telling them, yo, switch to camera 3, switch to camera 2,
right,
switch to camera 4.
Right. And that's if you're lucky enough you have the guy in the back, because some people don't have the money to have the guy in the back. So, you know, and so that's a little bit of like the behind the scenes. So the timing of everything in general, to be in that specific place, to get that close up, for him to hit that face, like, and then The Rock to do what it was epic. And this is the moments that like excite me. This is the moments that I live for. Like, yes, I love wrestling. I appreciate the wrestling, but the storylines are what get me. The storylines are what gets me going. Those are storylines that you can talk to somebody who doesn't necessarily watch wrestling day in and day out, and they can get it, because there's only, I think it was Steven Spielberg, and now we're over time. So thank you, Will, for doing that. I didn't want to go on the tangent, but I think it's Steven Spielberg who said that there's only like 3 or 4 base storylines that everything else is based out of. If you look at Harry Potter, Star Wars, all that stuff, they're all based off the general story. You gotta have to look it up because I don't have time for that. But
loudest pop for a heel turn I've ever heard through my speakers.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Better than Hogan's. I said it.
I'm gonna sip my water. With that being said, Seti said, where can everybody find you?
You can find me in 30 minutes on the Raw watch along. I'll be serving you guys this evening and recapping last week's Raw, because I didn't do a recap. Also on the Twitter streets at Says, on the gram at Said is the answer, CedricWelton.com. Hey, I see what you're doing, and I don't like it.
Damn.
Lastly,
so many heel turns.
This is a chance I can promote agave nectar. You shouldn't be eating honey. It's not good for you. It's very unhealthy. But also, there is an article that will be live shortly on the Women's Wrestling Talk site, where I go over winners and losers from the PLE.
Sorry, my dog was barking, so I was muted.
Everybody muted, that's
Courtney, where can everybody find you?
I mean, the people can always find me, not just here every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They know Wednesday, it's Dynamite. It's the final Dynamite before Revolution this weekend. Also, if you're in California, AEW has some shows in Dynamite, Collision, and even Revolution where they're traveling. So if you're near there, and I also did hear Ring of Honor's doing some shows there, just feel free to go. But I'll be doing my watch along every Wednesday. I will also be doing a watch along for Revolution this weekend. So feel free to join me on that. They can also follow me on Twitter on @CourtneyNJ11, where I do have content on everything you need to know when it comes to pageantry, PR, wrestling, everything you need to know, and got some content happening in the coming weeks.
And honey, where can everybody find you?
If you saw the press show, you'd get that. If you saw the press conference, you'd get that.
All right. With that being said, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Fuck Them Kids on all socials at YouTube and Twitch. Yeah. And you can and I will be selling those Give Up towels as well. You can get them in green, powdered blue, and purple. Coming very soon. And also shout out to Pachu for making it right. You know what I'm saying? Photoshopping. This is what it should have been when it ended. All right. This is what it should have looked like. Okay. Shout out to Pachu for this, man. He is doing God's work. This is how I'm gonna tell my kids how it went down. Okay. I'm not even gonna show them the video. I'm gonna just show them that. This is what it was when Cena went heel. But yes, and thank y'all for letting me be up on here. I wanted to come just because of what happened with Elimination Chamber. I'm gonna be going back on this vacation. I will be back next week, especially for Roadblock, the NXT watch along. So please make sure y'all are there. I invite everybody on the panel to come watch Stephanie McCurry become a double champion and watch the leader of the Big Back Coalition beat the dog shit out of Moose. Okay, Tuesday night. Come follow me next week.
All right. With that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us. It was absolutely fun, absolutely amazing. WWT Live, the Monday edition. We come to you Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. We have our Tuesday night Pharaoh, which somebody's going to be doing while Will is in the friendly ocean. And we have our Wednesday night Rice. We have our SmackDown with Honey. We also have Monday Night Mare coming up as well. And we have some new original programming that is going to be happening this week. So keep it locked. Definitely check out our website, www.talkpod.com. A lot of articles and all that good stuff happening. You can follow me everywhere at TK Trinidad. There is going to be a vlog about Elimination Chamber and also what they didn't talk about, what they might have talked about. I don't know, because I didn't show there live. It was cold as balls. And I'm from Canada. It was a whole different cold. It was like slap the ish out of you cold. It was not a fun thing to make the track to Elimination Chamber. So I have a vlog about that coming up in the next 24 hours. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao, y'all.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.